change.
Alright, greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Roll Hit Die Presents Waterdeep, our Sunday night game that Marcus is running us through while we're dealing with some scheduling issues with other players for our Lost Beginnings. And of course, this is happening the same time as whatever's happening over there. At least that's what I'm saying. Before we get into introductions and hand this off to Marcus to run our game for us, we are playing on Roll20, so you guys can see the maps, the battle laid out, a little bit of immersion for our players, and some artwork that may be thrown in there from time to time. Miniatures and figures that we use to represent our characters. All of us have them created through the Hero Forge subscription packet. So specifically what you can do is you can go to Hero Forge. You can create your own custom mini, anywhere from a mini size to a giant to a statuette.
I'm sure for this.
Yeah, whatever that was. But if you're a subscriber to Hero Forge, you can actually make a digital version and use it in your digital games. Down below, we have a link in our description area for Extra Life. Click on that link. It'll take you to the Extra Life page that you can donate and help out Children's Miracle Network as well as the Children's Hospitals. We also have a website. There's a link down there for that as well. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, go check that out. I don't think I have any other further announcements to make at this particular point in time, so I'll go ahead and hand it off to Marcus.
Exactly.
When do we get Captain McGurgly? Really?
So while he is finishing chewing his food, I will go ahead and point out down below there are bubbles. If you watch our program for a long enough time, you can click on those bubbles and collect them. Once you've collected a certain number of bubbles, you can spend different amounts for different things, such as advantage and disadvantage for players or DM, GUI items, GUI rewards, and random DMG items. You can either give them to individuals, or if you feel ever so generous and you wish to give to all, one way or the other, you can check out the Dragon Queen's Hoard, the Dragon Queen's Blessing, and the Dragon Queen's Gift. Each one of those will allow you to give everybody in the group something, whether it be a GUI item, a GUI reward, or a random DMG item. Are you ready, sir? That would be a no.
Now I am ready.
Now he is, because he's no longer muted. Okay. It's all you?
Okay. Well, while I introduce everybody and all that, Dan, you may want to fix the cameras.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless Tara's running tonight.
Yeah, you want to run us a game, Tara?
No, thank you.
Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus Scott. I'll be running this group of misfits through a homebrew version of Waterdeep. Why I say it's a homebrew version is because we haven't been basically followed the book since first episode. So with that said, thank you, Heck and Pupper.
Oh.
Already get advantage.
Perfect.
What?
Yeah, see that.
Okay.
And welcome to the show.
Yes.
Also, hi Tara, she loves you. They love you, whoever they are.
Now, just lost. Oh, like I said, this is a homebrew version, so if you are looking for insights, tips, tricks, secret passages, all that, you're not going to find it here because, like I said, I make up 98% of this stuff. And that's a
generous
percentage. Yeah. I also made up that percentage.
Yeah, you went from 90 last week to 98% this week.
Yeah.
What he does, he rolls a dice, and whatever it comes up on the dice is what he says he, does.
Oh, we're supposed to have dice for this?
Oh, crap.
Anywho, so like I said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Any rule lawyers out there, be advised. I'm the one that's going to make the final call, so if you don't like it,
Rule of cool rules.
Also, if you hear any background noise on my end, I have some construction going on, so that's why that's that. There we go. There we go. With all said and done, let's go ahead and introduce our characters tonight, starting with our fan favorite, Tara.
What? Was there an unofficial vote? I don't understand. But I'll take it. My name is Tara. Tonight I am playing Sue. They are a Gloomstalker Ranger fighter changeling who they are a urban bounty hunter and are excited to be out and adventuring again. They don't like being a bartender, so
But they're so good at it.
they're not.
Oh.
I mean, they are, but they're not. They're gruff. Wait, maybe they are a good bartender.
We'll go ahead and kick it over to the player.
It ain't me.
Yeah, no.
I'm not
Nope.
the player.
So, I guess my name is Curtis Frost, and I'm playing Balin. He is a Valinar High Elf, blade singing wizard. Yeah,
Yep, and they are
Apparently
player,
he,
apparently.
yeah. Player, Heartbreaker, all that fun stuff.
Heartbreaker, risk taker.
No, I go invisible and hide as much as often.
Yeah, well,
I guess
That's
it
my
leaves-
goal, is to not get hit.
He leaves it down to me, and then we'll hand off to you. I am Dan Latham, also known as Shredder Degar, and I will be portraying a little fairy by the name of Anthony Sparks, who is an artificer. And maybe I'm using certain aspects of things I've seen on TV, but Anthony Sparks is an artificer in a nice little suit of armor and loves coffee. And I think right now he got him a new toy, or at least several new toys. He has pistols from the Drow, and apparently I'm having an issue with my camera. It looks like I'm having a little choppiness. Does it look like it on you guys' side?
no.
Okay, well.
Maybe just barely?
Yeah,
but-
very, very little. I mean,
Okay, well. Oh, there you go. That's me. And
wave your hand. It's easier to tell. Are you doing it slowly? Yeah, no, it's not really. Nope. Nope.
Ooh,
Can't. Did you move it yet?
I'm sorry, what's going on? Did I
Nothing.
miss something?
my camera seems like it's doing a little bit of a
Oh,
slow thing.
sorry, I'm just typing up a letter to their next of kin as I'm going to kill him tonight. But with that all said and done,
This before.
I will be playing a NPC to run around with these group because, no one likes to play healers. So I am playing a Haragon bard named Harvey. He's not a very violent person. Matter of fact, he hates violence, but he doesn't like to see his friends die, so he just tries to keep them alive. So that are your characters in this play tonight. Who would like to let the viewers know what happened last week?
Tara.
Yeah, I was on vacation.
There you go. See?
Oh, is that not what you meant?
Well, I guess. I can do a small summary of it. It's not a big issue. We went to the vault. I believe we were already in the vault when we ended the session prior that Tara was a part of. We have met a dwarf who could speak all sorts of different languages and was glowing in magic. Come to find out, that particular dwarf was a golden dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark, because I want to make sure I remember that correctly.
Adult gold.
Huh?
Adult gold.
Adult gold dragon. So yeah, we didn't want to piss him off. Balin agreed to hand the money that we got out of the vault over to the open lord instead of taking any for ourselves. It was a little bit of negotiations going on in the process to try to negotiate. We offered to help him get out of town, but hey, he had a rod. He could walk around town all he wants. We offered to have him come back to our place so he could rest and get a drink and a meal because he's been down there for 20 years.
2025.
Well, whatever. The Galt never ever locked him down there as a guard for this money. I guess without even letting him know that the money belonged to the city and not to him. Well, once we decided to go ahead and leave and head back out, we crossed over the broken bridges and happened to notice that there was some movement going on down below. So we were somewhat prepared when we walked into a room full of Manchun, or a facsimile of Manchun, several gunslingers, swashbucklers, and all around thugs that decided they wanted what we came in here to get. And we proceeded to give them a thorough thrashing to the point where I think several of them actually took off running for their lives. And in the process, Sparky got his hands on their new firearms. Realizing that Sparky has firearm proficiency as an artificer, that come in handy. And I think that's where we left off. We were on our way back to our home to rest. And I don't think we actually made it back to the tavern yet, did we?
We did.
Cool.
Yep, we made it back to the tavern. You guys went inside, private sanctumed up, so everybody's safe inside, can't be scryed on any of that fun stuff. And I went and got some paper birds and came back and sent some messages.
Cool.
Okay. Alrighty then. Y'all did get your long rest. You sent messages out. You didn't hear any response because it was kind of late at night. So, anything y'all want to do before you actually go to sleep? Yes or no?
This campaign.
I don't. Not for me.
Yeah, not for me.
I mean,
no.
normal stuff, setting the bar up for the next day,
And I've got
making sure that while
tough,
we
by
were
the
gone,
way.
everything was good. That type of stuff. Because if we're just getting back, we have to
Okay.
do all that fun stuff.
The night before we go to sleep, even with the private sanctum up, I'm going to go ahead and put an alarm up as well.
Okay.
So,
Oh. Alright. Well, your night goes uneventful because you're in your house and the city has laws. However, just as the day breaks, you hear loud banging going on at your tavern door. This is like just as the sun rises. So if you, depending on what time y'all want to sleep.
4 hours. So, I'm going to go ahead and just pop my familiar. I would have spent the time to recast my familiar because we did get rid of a few bodies the nuclear option way.
Yeah,
that's a thing that
I
happened.
forgot about that. I turned one of the regular bags into a bag of holding, and we had so many different bags of holding from the first encounter we dealt with on the way in that we pretty much put all the bat bodies in one bag of holding, and then dropped them into the other bag of holding.
Okay.
Yeah, we ejected them to the astral sea, basically, and my familiar went with them. So I resummon it. And yeah, I'll just pop it outside on the other rooftop, look through its eyes, and see who's at the front door.
You see roughly a small squad of armed soldiers. You see a woman kind of in a hood, wearing just your typical white robes that seems to be being escorted by this small squad of soldiers.
I'll have my bird quickly just fly to see if I can get a facial feature, and I'll tell everybody that there's a squad with a important looking figure, maybe, since they're being escorted by it. If the bird can get a lock onto their face from a distance.
Okay.
Do you describe the face at all?
If I get the chance. If I
Yeah.
can see their face, I will. That's the whole reason behind this. If I can't see their face, then I'm just going to be like, hey, people at the front door, it looks like a platoon of guards, and we need to probably answer.
Anybody I recognize, Marcus?
You see a few guards you've met that you were drinking at the table at taverns and stuff throughout the time you've been here. Knowing that you've been really buddy with, more
Okay.
of in passing.
Do I know any names off the top of my head from his description?
Roll a percentage.
100.
All right. You recognize one of the guards. It's Bob.
What?
Yeah.
Bob, is it short for like Dylan or something?
I mean, is it the same Bob that we know and love?
No, this
Oh, damn
is Bob that you met down in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, we don't talk to Bob. I changed my. He doesn't recognize me if he comes in.
Okay. And as for your bird fly by, the woman in robes, she has just a plain demeanor, no markings. You do see that she has a necklace with the emblem of the Open Lord, but this isn't Laurel Silverhand that you see.
What time day is it?
Crack as a dawn.
All right. What time
Morning.
do we usually open?
Oh, not
11.
till like 11.
Yeah.
All right.
This
so
is about 4 hours early.
Sparky flies out the window up in his area. We're not open
Uh-huh.
yet. Come back at 11. And flies back inside.
No, I think we should probably meet with these people.
This is
Why?
after we already returned the money, correct?
We haven't
No,
done
No,
it
this
we
is
yet.
haven't.
beforehand.
We have not yet. Okay. I was
Um,
unsure, mostly because I was doing my level up. I'm sorry, I'm a slacker.
So I will let Arnox know that there are people at our front door, and that if he chooses to, he can meet with them. But if he were to disappear while we are talking to them, that is up to him. Since he didn't really want to, deal with them, he just wanted to heal up and
And leave.
GTFO.
Yeah.
So did they say anything when I made the comment?
They pounded harder on the door
Uh,
to the point where it seems like the door's starting to crack a bit.
All right. Well,
Alright, so I'll go-
I'm now doing the whole hands on hips, flying out above the balcony. What? Told you we were closed.
The Lady of Waterdeep wishes to speak with you all now. And
So
one
that
guards-
child's banging my door until it breaks up the
Alright.
hinges? Well, tell the lady Waterdeep come on down, and we'll set a table for her.
At that, I will open the door.
So are they banging on our door or the door to the bar?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
door to
that's,
the bar because they're not familiar with what's going on in
That's why I've
here.
been hollering we're closed.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay, wait a minute. When the Lady Waterdeep gets here, we'll open up the doors early for her. I mean, why not? And we'll set a table.
She would not be seen here.
Then
You
how?
have to come to the capital.
And it takes all you guys to invite us?
The
I don't
cargo
think this
you
is an
carry,
invitation.
Pardon?
Sparky.
the cargo that we were told you carry requires a bit more protection than what I'd say you.
I'm going to say quietly, who told them we're carrying cargo?
I never mentioned that we had. It was just we have information regarding the dragons, and I told them we have information. I didn't tell them we had it, but they could assume that we have it, or that the information we have is the cargo that is of importance.
Then we gotta
I never
go.
knew anybody is so interested
Yes.
in carrying my
We
dirty
planned on
laundry.
giving it back anyway. This is nothing surprising.
Yeah, and basically what I said last session is we would have talked about how we wanted to tell them everything we wanted to tell them before I sent the messages off. It was just end of the session, gonna do this, but we would all have our fair input and share in.
Okay. Well,
So,
we can
So
Yeah,
retcon that.
no, that's
Go
fine.
ahead.
I think it's
all
important
my
that we
gear
go
together.
talk to them then.
give us 10 minutes to get out the door. Sparky, ask him for 10 minutes to get dressed. It's early.
So, Sue said she needs 10 minutes to get her clothes on. Unless you just want to walk on in and watch her dress, which is completely
Don't
rude.
offer that.
Which is completely rude, and I wouldn't suggest it.
The lady
All right.
in the white cloak dress looks up and nods, and you hear her mumble a little bit to the guards. You see them basically set up a perimeter around your building.
All right, I fly back
So,
inside. All right, Sue,
if
they're
you-
not going to come in and watch you, so you can go ahead and get dressed on your own. Balin, there's a lady out here. I don't think I'd flirt with her if I was you.
Yeah, no, I saw her. I was, you probably could have seen the owl outside.
Probably.
Hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
I was
Uh,
probably watching you fly around and.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, if we're taking time, I'm gonna detect magic, get that going.
Okay.
I'm just getting dressed. So we did get our long rest.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Marcus, just FYI, I don't know if it was discussed before. Are you okay with me taking the Psi fighter as my level 3 fighter archetype?
I don't know.
The psionic knight thing.
Are you okay with doing that?
Some people don't. So
Oh, I have. If it's in the book,
It is.
for Tara's knowledge, Heckin Pupper is Cody.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay.
yeah.
I just noticed it when I was moving screens around.
I got a message from a friend.
Yeah, if it's in the book, then as
All right.
broken as it may be, I
don't-
will allow it.
I don't think it
It's in
is.
Tasha's.
No,
it's not broken.
Yeah.
I'm just making
It's
sure.
like it's strictly just you gain a few items that you can cast like cantrips and such, and they're considered.
It's not. It's a few psionic energy dice that allow me to do specific things.
It's just like a martial
Battle
dice.
Master.
Yeah, it's like maneuver dice in a way, but it's just different.
Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
5e hasn't really made anything too broken
Yeah,
yet.
it's not like
outside
three.
of
It's like 3.5 where you're given like a cadre of
Psionics.
points and you can spend on certain things.
No.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I'm just making sure.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I'm as long as it's in the book somewhere.
All right. Well, that's what I took, so you know what it is.
Okay.
So, yeah, when we're ready, I've got my detect magic going because I feel that is something
Sparky's
of importance.
literally just flying circles above their heads because he's dressed.
Yeah, I'm just getting
and
like
of
my
course, It doesn't take
regular.
long for Sparky to get dressed, even if he wasn't.
I really want my bird to take you away. It's just like bird of prey just grabs fairy leaves.
Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing echoing going on with.
Do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
So I'm confused on how that's happening.
Do you
Oh,
need
you're
to
hearing echo?
go for a minute? We can discuss
Oh, no,
stuff
no,
that
no.
we're.
No, he's hearing echoing somehow.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Not from you guys, from the folks having a conversation
Oh.
right around
That's
the
what I
corner
was
from me.
saying.
That's-
Oh.
That's why I was like, how am I hearing it in the headset in there? And
Do you hear yourself in the headset when you're talking?
no.
Huh, weird.
That's weird.
Well, maybe one of our mics is picking it up, and you're hearing it through that.
Something.
Possibly.
Okay.
Could be.
Or I'm just smoking crack and hearing things.
Well, there could be that too.
You shouldn't do that.
It's up to you.
Drugs are bad, okay?
So yeah,
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Well, she's standing out by the door, waiting patiently as the guards kind of stand around, doing pretty much securing the perimeter of your house, making sure no one gets too close.
Mhm.
So y'all come out the back and come around to the front, or are you just gonna let her stand there?
No, I mean when I'm done.
Yeah,
getting
when
dressed.
she's ready.
Okay.
I mean,
And
I'm
I'm
literally
just
flying
plain
circles
white
around
out
my head.
Sue.
All right. As the guards see y'all come out, they kind of following behind you. A few guards stay behind and secure as they walk you over to the lady in the robe.
How big is your owl?
Owl sized. Probably like a 5-foot wingspan, 6-foot wingspan, however.
Strong enough to hold a fairy sitting on its back?
Most likely, it's like I would imagine like a great horned owl,
Okay.
not a small one.
Well, he's flying on the back of your owl, having a conversation with your owl.
Okay, anyone else having flashbacks of Valkyries on 4 or whatever it is?
No,
Oh.
no, you good. You good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the guards that are staying back bring you up to the lady in white.
Detect magic.
Oh yeah, he has it running.
You notice that the soldiers have some magical weapons on them, but the lady in white does not.
Oh, so she's not even
Okay.
She's not even disguised.
hiding her appearance. Yeah.
Well, as you go up, this is a you recognize her to be one of the those house maidens.
Gotcha.
So, she bows to you all as you come. I apologize for the early announcement, but my lady insisted that we came now. I am-
Response to a letter by a letter is always polite.
Well, you know,
I
it was
think
a
it's
rough night
fine
because,
in
you
this
know, when we
situation.
came back, we had to, you know, kill Manchun and a bunch of other people, and we were pretty
Sparky.
wrecked.
It's good to, you know,
At
let's
least-
just
at
not
least
talk
said his name was
aloud.
Manchun. I don't know, some weird looking wizard guy with one arm. Is that what
Did
you
we
said,
ever
Manchun?
realize? I said that out of character. I don't know if we know that that was Manchun.
Oh, well, then never mind. I thought you
Yeah.
actually said it in character.
No.
Or even a smaller escort, perhaps, so that way our business isn't tainted with, I don't know, a full cavalry guard coming up and escorting us somewhere.
I understand, but I can only follow my lady's rules, and
I'll be sure to tell your lady when I see her then.
very well. But my name is apparently not important. Are you all ready to go?
Does she have a name?
Yes, she does. I actually
Sue
have a
doesn't
name
care,
ready.
but Balin
Y'all
will.
don't want to fucking.
No, it's worth being nice when.
What's the
Something like
third
this is
guard
going on.
behind her's name? That's where the
Yeah, we know Bob.
That's-
Bob's
that's
important, but
Bob.
we don't like Bob.
That's Bob.
Do we like Bob?
no opinion really. I don't really know him well.
Just drop one
Now-
Bob. Right there. Yeah, right there.
His
Top of
buddy
the head.
Trevor is like really hot though.
I don't judge by just aesthetics.
Well, then maybe he needs to wear lighter armor.
Well, as you look over, he does seem to be like sweating a bit, and then you realize he's a Janessa. Anyways,
Yep.
So her name?
Yeah, what was her name?
Rihanna Oshishan. Oshiahan.
Remember, we didn't ask. You wanted to say it.
Oh, okay, Rihanna Oshihan. Sure.
I had the name, and I had it set up to properly say it 2 different times.
Sure you did.
Oh,
Yeah, I did not type it like that at all.
Ocean. Ocean.
Oh,
Yeah.
she hand. Okay.
Is she just a human?
she is only human, flesh and blood. About it. Anyways, so you guys are walking and talking, getting escorted to the place. No issue. No anything I want to do.
No,
Hey Bob, how's it going?
Bob just had an elf shit on his head, so I guess he's doing all right.
Ah, fuck. Do,
You got a little.
know you? You said you changed your look so he wouldn't recognize you.
No, I went. Well, yeah, I went all white. Yeah. Probably not.
But I
Okay.
know.
You know,
Then how did you know my name?
not important. What is important is what you know about why this happened. Why so big?
I have no
Are they
idea.
compensating?
You
for
never
something?
hear anything, Bob?
I just follow orders. Last time I questioned things, I got demoted, so I just keep my mouth
Why
shut.
For some
never
reason, there was
joined
that
the
one
guard.
person.
All right.
That Keanu-looking fellow is the reason why he got demoted. I heard about that.
Yeah, and if I ever see that fucker again,
Oh no, Keanu. What's that? Guy with the
Yeah, piercing.
wavy
really,
black
the
king.
really good-looking one with the nipple rings.
Yeah, that guy.
So you thought he was good-looking,
Oh, that's
and I
good
just
looking
walked out of the
Trevor.
group. Just walk away.
And I walk away.
And
Oh,
I walk away. Just he hears me whisper, "I knew it."
well, as you guys come around the corner, you do see a carriage there where the Rana climbs into and offers you guys to come in, and the guards hook up onto the carriage. I assume you all are getting in? Or
Carriage
no?
looks like a normal carriage.
All aboard the paddy
It
wagon.
looks similar to the one that Harvey's dropped a crap load of money on.
Speaking
Yeah, we'll
of,
drag
where's
him
Harvey?
with us. Yeah, we'll drag him with us.
Are you going to drag Harvey with you?
Yeah.
He should be with us.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
part of the
It could be
group.
positive recognition. I feel like he lives for that shit.
Okay. So
I
I'm the
take
cart.
the hat off. No.
As we're getting in the car, I'd like to take a look at the doors and make sure that there's no like weird or out of place locks, just because I
Paranoid?
wouldn't say paranoid,
Put
Paranoid.
paranoid.
but I would say, yeah, okay, a little paranoid.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
We'll make
Sparky's
a
not in there,
perception
by the
roll
way.
for that. Yeah.
Here we, Marcus.
11.
Sparky's not in there. He's flying on top of the
Okay.
owl right now still.
Okay. You don't see anything unusual or anything like that. Matter of fact, nothing seems off about this carriage ride.
Okay.
Alright. And so y'all make it to the castle, which is right here.
Oh, there it is.
As you come up to it, the cart stops. Guards get out, form a kind of perimeter around the carriage, and open up the door. As the door opens, you see come here. You
What happened to our
see-
dragon friend? What did he do?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to whether he wanted to come with us or not.
From what y'all saw, he wasn't there when you guys woke up.
His choice.
Basically, he took off in the middle of the night. And why won't you?
So who's Mr. Silverman here?
Jealous?
Del Silvermane, and if it will let me pull up her damn portrait, you'll see.
Riona?
Yeah, L'Oreal Silverhand.
Oh, L'Oreal.
Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me pop it up because it wants to be an ass.
Happens sometimes.
Anyways, you see Laurel, who is the open lord, and Dalister Silvermane, who's her right hand, I guess, come walking out with 6 armed guards. and nods and greets you. Welcome to the castle. I apologize for the abrupt meeting, but you mentioned you had information on the missing dragons.
We take this inside.
Yeah, we mentioned it by letter, right?
Yes. We mentioned information on
No, that's me talking to her.
Oh, gotcha.
We did receive a magical bird.
Then, with all respect, this could have been handled via letter, an invitation perhaps, or at least a banging on the door past dawn. We just got back into town and we had quite the ordeal.
I haven't told you this, but it's possible that letter could not have got to us because of where we were at in my sanctum. It could have prevented it from getting to us.
Did we see? Then we wouldn't have heard the freaking thing. Or we would have seen it. You can still see out of the sanctum.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it blocks divination spells. So if they would have sent it, it might not have been able to get to us because it's blocked
An
by
invitation
the sanctum.
would have given us a time and stuff. It would not have been the next day that we got back into town.
I'm just letting you know, paper by paper bird, it might not have been able to get to us versus
I said what
normal
I
letter.
said.
I think what Sue's trying to say is there was better ways to handle it.
I'm trying to say I'm tired.
A bunch of guards to our door and bang our door down as if we were under arrest.
This doesn't look good for our business.
Well, we did ask you to come. Well, our mages tried to reach out to you guys last night, but
How did they reach out to us last night? We were still in the vault last night.
No, we were home.
When?
I'm hoping we're inside by now.
yes, they've kind of turned and you've walked you into the castle.
Good.
And you're walking with him. You talked about you being in the vault. So you did find it.
Find what?
Well, he mentioned the vault. What would you have in a vault? His message mentioned that you had information on the dragons, and then you mentioned about being in a vault.
Dragons. There's no dragons in Waterdeep.
So,
The money.
yeah, out of character, I'm willing to just tell them everything. And this is something we would have discussed prior to coming
that's
here.
fine.
Oh yeah, I
Sparky
would be
has no
fine
problem
with
with it.
that. I have no issue
Okay.
being honest with the law. I have an issue with how they handled summoning us.
So, I'm assuming we would have brought the portable hole full of the gold. That's something we would have done.
I don't know. Did
Yeah.
Huh?
Before we left,
Sparky.
yes. Before we left, yes. That would have been something I made sure of.
Sparky carries it with him everywhere.
Perfect. Same as the key.
Okay.
So, yes,
Do we have some place that's actually a little more quiet and secluded and, private and can be like...
Mine has a big floor.
Well,
maybe
it
like
doesn't even
another
have to.
sanctum that is the reason you
more
probably
impressive.
couldn't. Yeah. Your mages couldn't reach us because we were in a sanctum I created.
Okay.
But the question
Because-
is, do you have some place that is warded, I suppose is the best way to put it?
I do.
Maybe we should go there.
And if you wouldn't mind leaving your weapons with my guards.
I can't.
Oh, yes.
My
I
thing-
will-
I am my weapons.
Do you have your pistols on your hip?
Oh, no, they're in a bag.
I will pull off both of the sheaths, the scimitar and the rapier. The scimitar is just, like you said, it's just a handle.
So, okay, I get what you mean. He pulls a bag of holding off, says, I have all of it itemized, and I better get it all back. And he hands it to whoever the closest guard is.
Bob.
Oh no. Reminder Trevor with a wink.
Hey.
Sparky will wink at him, too.
Hey.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to do?
I thought that's how we say hi. I don't know.
Call me.
Me! It doesn't really have any. Never mind.
He kind of gives you a side look over to Sue, and then kind of shakes his head over at the fairy. But as you set your weapons down and whatever extra garb y'all leave there, doors open up into her private sanctuary. It's a circular room, which in the center there is an altar. Hold on. It will get you, if those who want to do a religious check to see whose altar it is.
I have a pretty good idea whose altar it is, but that's because I'm a player. Religion? Yeah, no.
Yes.
I don't know.
I do.
whose
I have
altar.
a 5, so that makes it a 14.
I have a -1, so I rolled a 0.
I've got a +4, so I rolled a 5. that's
Oh, wow.
that's a natural 1
14.
right off the bat.
Okay.
Does Harvey know? It's hard.
Harvey will know as soon as Google will freaking bring it up. You see, it is Mistra. A shrine to Mistra.
It ought to be.
And
Magic and whatnot.
No, she's a chosen.
Maybe.
She's one of the 7.
I don't know anything about this.
She's one of the 7 sisters.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about this storyline.
Well, that's why it's out of character.
I don't want to know out of character.
Oh, it'll probably be that way.
but you do recognize the thing because of your work over at the House of Wonders.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the house that you went to.
Yep, it was. With the
Yeah,
orphan
that's
music.
Okay.
Yeah, and if this is Mistra, then even if I rolled a 5, I would like to think I would know what it's about.
Is there any traditional like offering or anything given up at her shrines?
You see mostly gems of sorts, a variety of different gems, diamonds and rubies and stuff, kind of sprinkled on there. But
We didn't find anything like that while I was out, did we?
We did, so that's something that was missed. We did find a bunch of jewelry.
Any
Or
loose
jewels.
gems at all? Oh yeah. Can I take one of the smaller jewels and just flick it on the?
Can I
On the
catch
shrine.
it midair?
We have 33 blue quartz that are worth 25 each. So
Okay.
So,
Sparky, it's an offering to.
you want to flick it and you want to catch it.
yes.
Both give me a sleight of hand.
I rolled a natural 20.
And that gives you a what?
24.
That's what I got too. I rolled a
So-
19.
you two are doing that, and then there's just this blue gem floating over there. Tink.
I could have totally done my telekinetic.
Mine's just mage hand.
Sparky just whispers at the gem and drops it in.
Okay.
It now says, "I'm a shiny gem. Come and look at me."
As y'all pay your offerings to Mistra,
It's a little bit of
You
magic.
see-
I mean, why not? It's Mistra.
there's a passageway to the north, to the east, and to the west. She actually starts heading towards the north entrance, and about this time, the doors are sealed behind you, and you do see a light shimmer coming around the room itself.
Do we recognize this as just a aura protection or
We're all gonna
something?
die.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this private
Yeah.
sanctum or is it something else?
So it's,
Or similar?
yeah, it's similar. I won't tell you what the spell is because
Yeah.
Mysteria is the one who looks over it. So whatever magic she can do. That I
Alright.
don't feel like Googling that. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But yeah, it's a sanctum, and she's heading towards the northern room, which starts to open up, and you can see a throne that's a little bit up on a pedestal, and two half moon tables with a few empty chairs, and you see figures that are in black hoods with a black faceless.
I told you we're gonna die.
Mask.
They're all assassins.
Being a Waterdavian, would I know what this is, or would you like a roll?
I'll let you roll with advantage.
These are the masked lords.
With an 18 plus whatever you want. If it's history, that's going to be a plus at least 4. Yeah,
Sparky doesn't know that.
Well,
natural 18.
you starting to put together the half-crested moons, and that these masks are faceless. There is no distinguishing figure amongst them, or distinguishing marks.
Mhm.
Please.
You're
tell
going to
me.
assume that these are the mask. These
Mask
are a
lords.
few of the mask lords.
Please tell me you tell Sparky. Please tell me you tell
No,
Sparky.
I don't say a damn thing. It's like, oh,
Can I
okay.
also roll to see? Because I mean, I work for.
Sparky likes to blurt things out, and we have some knowledge that I don't really wish for him to blurt.
So
Do you want to?
Sparky doesn't go in the room.
Okay.
Sparky thinks
Uh,
we're
Yeah,
assassins.
it's a 18, a 17 because I have a -1 in history.
Are you trying to decipher if you recognize any body shapes, or if you recognize what these people are?
If she has any idea.
I like the first option.
Okay. You do recognize that there are a couple females and a couple of males, just because of the bosom sizes of some.
Okay.
But as to tell whether, I mean, you do see one that's kind of short compared to the others.
I think
Look like an
I mean,
altar,
it's
perhaps.
on you, but
Or...
I think the masks that the masked lords wear makes them all look exactly the same, no matter what their height or build is.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way
Well,
you
maybe
can't
in the
do
book,
that.
but remember in the
Yeah.
beginning, Marcus said that his is not like the book.
Well, that's what I said. This is his story. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
as far as the lore is concerned, I think that's the case. But hey, it's just me as a player trying to help you out a little.
Yep.
Not-
Of course,
not
some of
telling you
those
what to do.
females
Just-
could be looking like males, males looking like females, tall looking short, vice versa.
Yeah. They all pretty much look the same, just slightly height difference, but it's not something you can like, oh,
I know who you
you're
are.
exactly 5'7", 3/4", so you're the masked lord. Well, you're in the city of 1 million plus people.
Mhm.
But Sparky refuses to go in that room
Okay.
because he sees that they're assassins. They're going to kill us.
Is that what you think? No, these are.
Look at them. They're all dressed in one color. They have no face. They're going to kill us.
No,
This
I
was a trap.
believe, taking a guess, that these are just the masked lords of Waterdeep. They are.
What the hell's that?
They rule. They help rule behind the scenes as well as the
Are
open
you
lord.
sure?
She's the face of the city, whereas these are the
Think
government
of it like
behind.
an anonymous quorum.
Oh yeah, we got some of those back in the Fae.
So yeah, that's all it is.
You sure?
Nothing to be worried about.
Yep.
100%.
I'm gonna go 97%.
I'm going to insight check you, and I'm not going to roll for it.
I mean, yeah, no,
That's
it's
11
100%. Or it's not 100%, but a high likely. He believes.
Oh, I know that's who they are, but I don't know that this isn't a trap. So
I don't know it's not a trap,
Okay,
but I'm
okay.
I'm feeling safe to assume.
Well, I mean, I'll get the fuck out of here if it comes down to it. Anyway,
So who's going into the room?
they've
Come on.
convinced
I'll
me
go
to
in.
go in now.
no, I'll go in like straight.
Yeah.
Head
After
up,
telling me who
shoulders
they
back.
are and that this probably isn't a trap or it might be not be a trap, yeah, I'll hesitantly fly in there and go up into the rafters somewhere.
Okay.
The only stop is to turn around and make him known that it's fine.
As you guys cross the threshold, the door slam, The gears turn and locked. You are sealed as gas comes from. Oh, no, wait.
Wrong page.
Doors. Doors close in behind you. A few of the masked figures stand up, kind of bow to you, and then sit back down as Laura comes up and sits in her throne and turns to you. So, please enlighten us on the information you have found.
So start from the beginning, and as I
Oh
look
God,
at you guys,
I'm gonna get comfortable and I sit crisscross applesauce on the ground.
Do we trust everyone in the room?
no, but I trust the Open Lord enough.
Well, I mean, that's who's asking. I was asking her if she trusts everyone in the room.
Everyone in the room has some stake in the future of Waterdeep.
I'm guessing that's your way of saying yes.
This is politics. Trust is a loose term.
That's why I hate politics. In real life, too.
You hear one of the Master Lords kind of chuckles like, I understand. I hear you there, little guy.
So, starting, I will pull out a note. The note that the guy had on him that Neverember was sending him to give us the stone to start out with. And with the note, I will say, so we were, a few months ago, we were asked by Volo to go find a friend, and we ended up saving Renair from a group of, I think they were Zentarum. And Renair Neverember's father apparently sent this little guy to have us hold on to, and I will pull out the stone. To hold on to this, for some reason that I'm only sure that the previous Lord, Open Lord, would know. I'm assuming he thinks that since we saved his son, he felt that it was safe in our hands for some reason. And we just followed the leads that led us to the vault. And when we got to the vault, there was what appeared to be a dwarf at the time that turned out to be a golden dragon named, give me a second, Aranox. And we were able to come to a terms with Arnox that he was sent there to protect the vault and the hoard of the gold that had been embezzled or stolen or taken, however you want to word it. So we were able to tell him and convince him that this was not legitimately saved. It was taking from the city, and as long as we were to give it back to you, the city, mainly we know of the Open Lord, so we agreed to give it over to you yourself. And the stone is the key that told us how to get into the vault and the keys to get into the vault.
And do you have these keys to get into the vault?
Two of them are here. The keys themselves were kind of odd. We had to have a automated construct, which is just a suit of armor that's back at the house, basically. I had to get drunk because I had to be a drunken elf, and
Can
we
I
needed
get out a snack while this is happening?
and then I just motion over towards Sue as a shape changer.
Okay. As you're telling this whole story, you do hear a little bit of snoring coming in behind you.
I am being extremely long-winded.
And sees they're
Very
eating.
detailed colors of hair. Oh, bean.
You see Laurel kind of look past you a bit and just kind of wave her hand, and then you hear a loud thud as something hits the table behind you. As you turn
You hear a
around,
loud
you
screech
see
as Sparky goes. He's already on edge.
You see the open, or not the open lord, one of the master lords kind of rubs his head as he was rudely awoken. Because she just made chance to slap his arm that was propping his head up.
Jeez. But yes, inside the vault there was, the Dwarvic ruins and whatnot, and then what we did is we went ahead and retrieved all of these stolen dragons,
Okay.
and we have them with us.
So you do have it with. Were there
I was leaving the note that I had sent to you vague so that people wouldn't think we had it if we did. That we just may have had information regarding versus actually.
Well, the information is just as valuable as having the item itself.
And
since no one seems to know where it was.
Yes, and that's kind of the odd thing is that this stone has sentience to it, and that's how we were able to find the location and know the keys.
Would you mind allowing us to have the stone?
Is she just asking for the stone just to look at it, or like they want it along with the...
They want it.
They want.
Yeah.
They want that stone. Who also likes to be like Tara. Remember, it likes to go from person to person. So.
I mean, I've had it, and
if you have no more use for it,
I would like to hold on to it. I mean, all it does is it told you what you needed to get into the vault, and we can show you the location, and we can tell you the keys and where the keys need to go. And after that, I don't think it has any real use, but I would just like to hold on to it personally.
You got kind of attached to it.
That's.
I mean,
fine.
that being said, we did bring everything here, so.
I mean, this was not in the vault. It just helped us get to it. And we have the stolen dragons with us that we wish to return.
Well, I appreciate that.
And maybe gain favor.
Well, for your troubles, I
boon.
think we can part with some of this for you. But I'm curious, were there any traps or anything in this vault that we needed to worry about?
So there was a black ooze that hurt after the fact. There was one of the frescoes, or whatever you want to call it, and on the northwestern room on the bottom floor there's a fresco that felt like it tried to control if you got too close to it.
What about that weird thing the oozy thing was eaten?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that weird supposedly drow demon hybrid creature. If they do not mind, I would cast minor image just to create the creature in my hand so that they can see it. I don't know what it is, and it would just be easier. I'll ask them before casting the spell.
Yes, please. There are such foul creatures down the depths.
Yeah, it's weird because it was just the single creature by itself being ate by the ooze. We didn't search the place too terribly crazily, so we could have missed an entrance, but it seemed that there was only those 3 creatures in there initially. The ooze that we destroyed,
doors. One of them required you to blow on it or something, or whisper some, I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been part of the lengthy, overdone explanation that there was a depiction of Dumathorian, the god of secrets, that we had to tell the secret to get in, and it opened its mouth and let us go down. There was the other one that had us with the whole temporary hit points, bang the anvil with the hammer, boom, there it is. We didn't go in the other door, though. There's 3 doors. We didn't go in the other one, so we don't know what's in there. But the dragon told us it's more of a trap than anything.
Okay. Is the dragon still there, or?
We have no idea where he is now. He he had some staff that he really didn't want to part with and wanted to hold on to. He told us what the staff was, though, and I will relay what the staff was.
You see her frantically writing down the name of the staff. Could you show us what the staff looked like?
Yeah, and I'll just minor image the staff, and it was a staff that had a red and a gold dragon around each other, I think, or spreading out. And yeah, I mean, that is what the staff was.
Yeah.
And basically, he helped us get out of there because when we went to leave, we were had to fight our way out of some drow gunslingers, some swashbucklers, thugs, and then what appeared to be a simulacrum of this gentleman. And I will put up a picture of Manchun, but I don't know that that is Manchun.
You do see one of the mass lords kind of react as she kind of gasp a little bit.
But it was just a simulacrum because after we
He
fought
kinda
our way
melted.
out, this person was, a puddle of water.
Okay.
So it's safe to say that it's just a simulacrum. So whoever they are, they know about it amongst. I find it odd that there would be drow amongst, all these other people. So more people knew about it than that, but
Well, you've had the Zentarum and the Xanathars raging war in our streets trying to find this.
yeah, and I will, amongst describing everything, I would have mentioned the platinum dragon that was in the tomb that let us go in, named Zamor, and then the
Died.
now dead dragon
Yeah,
statue,
we didn't realize the
Rexmore.
statue was alive whenever it was being attacked. So
Yeah, I thought it was just like an animated statue versus a living being. So
Well,
that would have been told as
Dragon's a
well.
good dragon.
What?
Nah, it's up to whoever decides,
A dead
Different stories for
dragon
different folks.
is always a good thing.
I thought there were good dragons.
There may
You know, that
be
gold
one or
and
two up there.
silvers were supposed to be good dragons.
Chromatics. I'm sure every one of them has their own reasons. And maybe, just because
I just don't
most
trust
of them are
something
good,
that
all of them.
Well, some people don't trust government, but we don't
Right.
kill anybody in government.
Well, I mean, just because you
But-
don't trust somebody doesn't mean you gotta
Your
kill them.
face.
I mean, just because you don't trust somebody doesn't mean you gotta kill them. Right?
well, when they're a threat to surrounding villages and everything
Weird
else.
how parallel those things are.
Yeah. That's weird.
Governments and dragons.
The corruption, yes, I understand. But this is why our government is like it is.
Oh, so your
We're-
government's better than anybody else's government. Gotcha.
I mean, some people don't like this government, obviously, but
Oh, I didn't even push that far.
I mean,
Well,
there's a
what
reason
comes-
that most of the mass lords died when they got ousted 20 some years ago, or whatever it was. Not 20 some, but a few years ago.
But you remember it.
I don't say that out loud.
Yeah.
That's all kept to myself.
Well,
And
with the
scene.
majority of the government identities being unknown, it's kind of hard to bribe the right people, wouldn't you think?
I actually agree with that.
If you're looking to bribe them, yeah.
But that is a very interesting story, and we'll have much to talk about. Lords, do you have anything you'd like to add? The woman who gasped looks at you. Are you sure that is what the gentleman looked like? That
Oh yeah, yeah, with the funky looking arm and everything. I could have
We
made
knocked
it
it
Yes.
out.
out.
Yeah, while they were, fighting us, I was invisible and got really close and did get a good look at him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that arm was kind of shoddy. Whoever made it for him sucked.
I take it he's an important figure in the city somehow.
He's been a thorn in the city side.
Oh. So.
Wait, is there a bounty out on him? Just curious.
Unfortunately, we can't tie him exactly into. He's the rose that the thorns lie upon. If that makes sense.
No, not really.
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh. Well, Stu understood it. I guess that matters.
It's like a. Let's put it in a toy thing. It's like a puppet master at the top, making the parts move.
Okay, so is he the puppet master or the puppet?
The puppet master.
Oh, so
The
that means
puppet
he's important
would be
then,
the-
right?
But in a negative way. They can't tie him to the. But this is not a good analogy because there are literally strings on a.
Well, there's no strings on my puppets.
That's.
Never mind.
Well, there's no strings on my puppets.
It's fair.
But yeah, that seems like the only lord that had any kind of question. Then
So what should
Laurel.
we do if we see him again?
If you see him again,
Do we need to bring him in alive next time?
the one lord looks to you. Well, I prefer him dead,
Oh, well,
but
well, I mean,
I can't.
I guess it's one of those
Down.
things that you just don't trust him, so you got to kill him.
Well, his alleged connections to particular syndicate tends
Is he a dragon?
to cause. No,
I'm so confused.
he's a much worse scum than that.
Well, that makes me happy.
Okay, so we were talking about the money, and
Oh yes, yes.
Boons or favor or something.
Well, if there's no objection amongst the lords here, I will allow you to keep 10%.
10%. So 10%
That'd be
of
50.
200,000 is how much is that?
You're funny.
Do believe
I'm shaking my head, obviously, as he says that.
Then yes, you can have 20,000, and we will take the rest.
Okay, so you guys
If
take
that's-
180,000. Got it.
Negative.
So let's see. We were talking about 10%. So it's going to be 50 thou.
Yeah.
Yes, 50,000. And you gain a little.
50. I mean, that's kind of light compared to you wouldn't have had it if we didn't find it. And Balin and Sue were like, they had to be there, or else you wouldn't have got in. So it's kind of like, just saying. Sparky is not good at negotiation. Just saying.
No.
Yeah, no.
Actually,
To
let's
get
see
to the
exactly
location.
how good Sparky is. Yeah, his persuasion is a +1.
Mine's not that much
But
better.
he
Actually, it's a
will attempt
+6.
to persuade maybe a little bit of a bigger score than just 10%.
Sue actually has a pretty good persuasion, but she's not. The money isn't as important to her as.
Well, that's because you're gonna get 50,000, and then at the end of the day, you're gonna have like one.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go ahead and roll.
I have 400 gold right now.
So with my
I have 92.
persuasion, that was only an 8. And he seems like a kid who's just trying to ask for
Yeah.
a little more allowance kind of deal.
And as you're rambling off, some incoherence, kind of wanting more, Harvey kind of covers your mouth.
Harvey, what did you have in your hands earlier? That's nasty.
My carrot.
It doesn't taste like carrot.
Hey,
Ooh.
you just got on, huh?
Sparky did.
Uh,
The player's mind went straight to that when you said my carrot, and then I was like, well, you know what? He actually meant that. So yeah, it took a moment for Sparky to realize that's what you meant.
yeah. Okay, so Harvey will attempt. He tips his hat and gives this elaborate speech, which I'm not going to give.
Well,
But
I tried. At least you could do too. Just go ahead, Marcus. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I was just like, the money would be nice, but a boon would also be great.
Which I'm trying to pull up. Where are the freaking...
So when Sparky covers his mouth, or when Harvey covers Sparky's mouth,
Mm-hmm.
Sue will dust her hands off from her snack and stand up and go, the money is greatly appreciated. We did go through a lot to retrieve this, and we're happy to see it back into the hands of where it was taken from, because theft, no matter who it's from, is not right. You mentioned perhaps a boon would be on the table, and as newly acquired business owners and people who also do like to go out and fulfill, needs of the city in a way that not everybody can, that would also be greatly appreciated in addition to the funds. That way we can still run our business as well as continue to do good for the city and those around it.
Okay. Well, each one okay. All right. So
I don't know
here
who
we
he's doing and
have
why we need to worry about him, but okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want all y'all to roll me a D8. Let me know what you got.
I got a 4 for Sparky.
I got a 4. Do you want me to re-roll?
No.
I got a 1.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. You have what they will go ahead and you right on here. Basically, a letter of recommendation. With this letter of recommendation, if you are ever in another city or anything like that, and you need to talk to any official government folks or basically anyone of note, you are kind of sort of working on the behalf of the Open Lord of Waterdeep. So if you run into any barriers from guards or anything like that, you show them this, and it's got the seal of the Open Lord.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay.